What's up, Jen?
Hi.
Yo, Sylvie's love.
What you know about Sylvie's love?
I've already watched it twice.
Really?
Yes.
So that's your jam.
You know what? There's things I like, there's things I don't like. So I guess we should just talk about all the stuff we liked first,
But
and
hold
then I
on.
guess we could.
Before we go, we have to say spoiler alert, right?
Oh, for sure. I'm gonna spoil everything.
Yeah.
So go ahead and pause right now because I'm gonna spoil everything. I'm gonna talk about everything.
The nitty-gritties of it. So, yeah,
Yes.
spoiler alert, guys. If you haven't seen Sylvie's Love, go and watch that before you watch this video, okay?
Yep.
All right. So where do you want to begin? Like, what's
You
the
know,
point in?
let me just say this is a movie I've been waiting for a long time. Like I'm a big fan of rom-coms and romantic dramas,
Mhm.
and I love watching people fall in love. Who doesn't love love, right? But my
Right.
thing is every single time I want or I'm in the mood for a love story, no offense, but it's like oh, it's always white people.
It is. It
And I'm
is.
like, okay, I don't have a problem with that, but there are times when I'm just in the mood for some diversity, for some like
Black
a
love.
different take.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I really appreciated that I got to see these two good-looking black people fall in love. Like I
Yeah.
don't get that often.
Right.
And
That's so
that's a
true.
shame.
It is a shame. We need to see more of it. And I think what was different about this one is it's a drama, right? We're
Yeah.
not used to really seeing uh black love in dramas. So I think that
Yeah.
that's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, usually you'll get, some rom-coms with black people in it, or you'll get where it's just one of them is black.
Right.
So but you have to wait so long for a good black love story, and I find that very annoying. Like this year there are tons and tons of rom-coms that came out, tons and tons of stories and movies about romance, and then maybe count on one hand how many of those are black people.
That's
Like are
crazy.
there any other black love stories this year?
I don't, not that I can think of off the top of my head, because I feel like I would have known about it, but I can't even think of one at the top of my head right now. No.
Eh, anyway, I'm thinking of the two or three right now, and all of them are one of them is black, and the other person in the couple is like either Indian, like Issa had that movie with
Oh,
the Indian guy.
was
Was
it
that this year?
was it this year or last year? Yo,
I
the
don't know,
years are like
girl.
the years are going into each other. I can't.
So I guess my point is, I've been waiting for this. I was thirsty, okay, and this quenched my thirst for a beautifully done two black people falling in love, and I've just been waiting for that. So that's my first thing that I love about this movie.
Right. One thing for me is I love that it goes with our theme for episode one. I believe it was crazy type love.
Yes,
In the
in
name
the
of
name
love.
of love.
Yeah, so I think we should touch on a few of those topics in that the movie brought up. But how about let's start with the things that we didn't like and then go into the things that we love.
Really?
You
To be
wanted to
honest with you,
end on a
because
sweet note?
all right, if that's how you want to do it, because I feel like I got a lot of stuff to say about the whole stuff I didn't like. But okay, fine, we'll
Okay,
start there.
okay, fine.
We'll start there. We'll start there.
We'll start there. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
What
okay,
about you? What didn't you like?
okay. I didn't like that they kind of smoothed past the whole cheating. Like there was like with it's like we're gonna just ignore that and go right past that, and we have this amazing love story. And I feel like a lot of these dramas and some of my favorite dramas, there's always that element of dishonesty. And I don't know why we have to have that component to have a great love story. It was a great love story.
Well, because in order for you to have drama, people have to do bad things.
Mm.
That I had this, Jess. I had this conversation with Jess.
Mhm.
We spent an hour yesterday talking about this movie, and that was one of the things she hated too, was that it's like um she felt what's her name? Sylvie was not held accountable for any of the things that she did.
At all.
And I think that's true. I actually agree with you here. I don't like that some of the big decisions we didn't see the consequences really of them. You
Mm.
know?
Yeah.
Like she keeps the baby a secret.
Mhm.
She doesn't really get, I mean, she gets away with that. She cheats on her husband. Her husband really doesn't really say anything about that. So all of
Mhm.
these things that she's doing to the men in her life, the men in her life kind of just let her off easy.
Right. There are no consequences
Yeah.
at
There's no
all.
blow ups, So I didn't like that either. I agree.
Mhm.
And I guess that takes me to my number one pet peeve. I'm gonna just go and tell you right now. It's related to what you're saying.
Okay, okay.
For a romantic drama, there isn't enough drama.
You wanted more drama.
Girl,
It was
I'm
just
not
too
talking.
calm.
And when I mean more drama, I don't mean like more juicy stuff. There's plenty of juicy stuff. We've got an affair, we've got a secret child.
Mhm.
I What I mean is that when these big issues are confronted in the movie, the magnitude of the act is not met with the appropriate response to
Mm.
me. And so
Yeah.
it's like,
Like when he finds out about his daughter, he's just kind of like,
listen, Namandi is so cute. Okay, let me just put that out there. I find him to be completely adorable.
yeah.
I
And
love his
him and Kerry Washington, okay.
okay. So
Beautiful couple.
yeah, like I think that the Robert character is I like the Robert character because he's a black guy who's not aggressive. And
Mm.
I'm sure that was intentional. And if even if it wasn't, I like that. I like that he was shy and sweet and just cool. But dang,
Yep.
he was too cool. What?
Like I don't know how he was able to be that calm. I'm like, Robert, why are you calm? You just found out that you have like a whole child that's 5 years old that you didn't know about. Which
He's
brings
too
me to
cool.
my next thing though. Question for you. What
Yeah.
did you think about, okay, so from the beginning of the movie, we see that the father is a fixer, right? He takes things that are like
Ooh.
trash, right?
I didn't even put that together. That's awesome. Yeah, for sure.
He takes trash and creates treasure and he puts things together and he makes them work. We see that with the TV, right? It was the TV and it didn't have sound. So he brought in something with sound and whatever it was. I don't remember exactly, but he's a fixer.
Okay.
So then what when it comes, it shouldn't come to us as such a surprise that the dad would want to fix what
Wow.
happened between
Yeah.
Sylvie and Robert. So what do you think about the dad taking that step and talking to Robert on his deathbed and telling him, look, you have a daughter, a wonderful daughter.
I mean, thank God he did because my girl looked like she was nowhere close to saying anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't that was great analysis, Jen. I thought I didn't even catch that when I was watching it, but that's for sure what he's doing. He's definitely being a fixer there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was the right thing for him to do as a dad. It wasn't
Right.
his truth to tell. But hey man, you're on your deathbed, so can't nobody tell you anything
He's
anyway.
like, peace, I'm out.
Exactly. I actually I don't mind that he did that, and I thought that it added to the drama, it added to the suspense of it all, that it wasn't it wasn't Sylvie that told Robert.
Right.
It was Sylvie's dad. But again, I'm gonna harp on this like for a little bit because this bothered me.
Uh-huh.
This is the reason why I find that the reactions to things were muted.
Hmm.
Just everybody's too chill. I don't know what it is. It's just too chill. When he confronts her about that, I'm not expecting for him to break anything or to be like whatever, but I didn't feel it. I didn't feel
Yeah.
his anger. And at the moment that I was starting to, she just, I'm sorry. Really? My girl says, I'm sorry twice, touches his chest, and it's over. What? Come
How
on,
would
give me a break. He should have at least stormed off. Even if he knows
yeah,
he's gonna come back and they're gonna fix it, but I'm mad at you right now. Can you be mad at
yeah,
her? Like,
nothing.
you know
But
what I'm
the thing that's powerful about the scene anyways is that you kind of glimpse the pain in his eyes and
saying?
his
Yes,
person in his face. So I think if you're watching him intently, then you can see a bit of that. You could see that he would want to walk away, but he's a little bit stronger than that. You know what I mean? So,
I agree with you. I do. I saw it. I
mm,
saw it. But for me, it wasn't enough.
right.
It wasn't enough. I mean, I know that we don't have to like always expect the exact same things from these kind of movies, but there are certain things that you gotta have. Like even when there's always some sort of airport chase down. There's always something, right? So when he's waiting for her to go with him to Paris, he this is the moment where it's like, hey, are we gonna do this or not? Are we gonna be together? Are you gonna leave your fiance? He waits, he waits, he waits. When she finally shows up and he finds out there's no suitcase, he takes it so well.
Honestly, he
I
just
mean,
calmly walks back to the car.
listen, he took it so well that when I was watching it the first time, I thought that he was just going to come back from his trip and they would pick up because his walk away was not one like I'm walking away from you forever, like it's over. That's how cool he
Mm,
was. I'm thinking, oh,
yeah.
okay, so I guess they'll just get back together when he comes back or something like that because he was so chill that I couldn't tell that this was so when they're like 5 years later, I'm like, wait, hold up.
But we're not done. That last scene, we need to finish that.
So that was really my thing, and this happened for me over and over. It happened there. It happened when he found out about the daughter. And this is the one that's, well, two more times. Two more times. This is the other one where he is now deciding I don't want to stand in the way of her dreams and my music thing isn't working, so I'm going to break it off.
That was really sad for me. Like, I don't know. I know it wasn't dramatic, but I was like, wow. Like, where do we go from here? Like, I don't know
Jen,
what to do.
and yo, he is and when I watch these things, I put myself in the character's shoes. Like I'm madly in love with my husband, right?
Mm,
So I can relate to that deep, passionate love when I watch these things. So
right.
this is why there's a huge disconnect for me. You
Mm,
mean to tell me that you are now, unlike all the other scenarios in the past, where
mhm.
it was a circumstance that caused you guys to be apart, you are now choosing to break it up?
Yeah.
You're making a choice to say goodbye, not only to the love of your life, but to
But
your
you're
child.
mhm.
And it's like, that's
But
it?
that's
Like,
that pride though.
huh?
That's that pride. He wants to be a provider. He wants to be the breadwinner. So it's like
Yo, don't get me wrong. The motivations are right. I'm
mm,
talking about the performance.
mm,
So I actually and
under
I'll talk about that when I get to the stuff that we like, right? But
right.
I hated the fact that there was no agony in that scene. Like, shout out to Tessa because my dog was not giving her anything to work with, and she had to bring all of the heat in the scene. It's like, dang, man, like even when she walks out the door, there's not a tear, there's not a breakdown. That is the love of your life walking out. You may never see her again. And homeboy is like, all right, I'm gonna go work in the factory now. Like it's all good. Like what? Where is the misery? Like I'm telling you right now, if I have to, for whatever reason, say it's over between me and my husband,
God forbid. Knock on wood.
it's like, how am I going to breathe? You
Gee.
know what I'm saying? Like you can't even take your next breath. And I feel like that's why we watch these stories. We want to see that kind of love that makes you suffocate when it's gone. You know what I'm saying? And that
Yeah.
was not there. To me, it was too
Yeah.
chill.
It felt
And
flat.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
girl.
I would agree.
So
There's no point where I felt like, oh my gosh, like, I just
I mean, this is why we love like Titanic and The Notebook because it's so overwhelming. It's like, oh my, they really love each other. Like they'll do whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I felt like I just didn't feel their love, and I wanted to so much. I just couldn't feel it at times.
Yeah. Do
What
you
do you think
think,
about the ending, girl?
huh?
What do you think about the ending?
Ooh, it needed more like it needed like a punch. Like I don't know. It just kind of was like, oh, okay. Like and like I wasn't satisfied. I think that's the word for it. I was not satisfied with that ending because I feel like it needed, I don't know. Girl, I don't even know what to say. I'm at a loss for words.
Well, I think you hit it on the head. A loss for words is what was problem with that. Listen, for me, I watch these movies for the big romantic speech, for
Mm,
the profession of love, for the I can't, like the why didn't you write? I wrote you every day for a year. It ain't
it was
over.
never over.
Yeah, what do you want?
It's
You
never
know what it
over.
like you watch it for those moments where like somebody says something so moving and you're like, "Oh my god, I want a love like that in my life."
Yeah.
So for me, the problem with the ending is like, all right, here it is. We have gone through every obstacle. We've overcome everything and we're finally going to be together. And it was like, that's it?
Yeah.
Like
They
like
just
no
get into
no
the car
grand
and ride off.
yeah, no grand celebration,
Yeah.
no big profession, no like overwhelming like, "Oh my gosh, you choosing to be with me." Like there was none of that. My dog was so
Mm-mm.
cool. They walk over to the car, he opens his lunchbox. Did you notice that? Like what the heck they looking at?
I totally missed that.
What are y'all doing over there? I need to understand what's happening. They could have cut out, if it was up to me, they spent a lot of time talking about stuff that I didn't really care about. There's this whole dance scene with Eva Longoria. Why did we need that?
I don't till this day. I mean, the thing just came out, you hear, but like I till this day, I just don't understand why we needed that scene.
Like, cut that,
There
please.
was
And
nothing in that scene.
thank you. Let me get a little bit more of a dialogue between the two of them where they're just saying, baby, no matter what, like, we're not doing this no more. Like, we've wasted too much time already. Like, it's something, man.
Something, but nothing happened. It just,
Yeah. So,
it was a
those
lot
are
of flat moments for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think one more thing too is I didn't like the fact that I didn't understand what happened in the 5 years.
Yeah. There was no
So it's like,
clarity.
why didn't he come and try to talk to her when the Paris thing was over? Am I to assume he was in Paris for the whole 5 years? Like,
Or maybe traveling.
I don't understand. When they say goodbye at that car scene, do they never talk again during the 5 years?
Well,
Like,
that's what it seems. I think that's how they set it up because then she sees him by chance, right? When she's going to listen to that singer. And so I think that's how they were setting up. It's like after he left for Paris, it's like they severed ties completely.
yeah, but I don't understand why that would happen.
Yeah.
I felt like they could have explained that. And then let's just talk about Lacey for a second.
Oh my gosh.
So that was so weird. They hit me with a left hook when they finally break up, and Lacey's like, "Oh yeah, I married you because I loved you." I'm like, I would have liked to see that.
It's like, bro, when did you love her? I'm not sure. Actually, I wrote down like what he said. He said, I didn't marry you because it was the noble thing to do. I did it because I love. you. And then he proceeds to tell her, I never wanted you to be try to be the woman of
Of
my
my
dreams.
dreams.
I just wanted to be the man of yours. And I mean, those are beautiful words, but sir.
Look, I am mad that the best lines in the movie are coming from the man she's not gonna be with.
Yeah.
Those are the lines I was looking for.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that moved me. And
Yeah.
he was just like, yo, I'm just trying to be the man of your dreams. And the heartbreak, I can feel it. I felt
Mm-hmm.
that when he's like, yo, that position's been filled and I've been trying, but I'm not him. Like I feel that. But I'm upset that it comes from the person who's not in love. Well,
Yeah.
he's in love with her, but she's not in love with
Huh.
him. And why give that to him
It's
only?
weird, right? And it's weird to me because it's actually confusing coming from him because he doesn't validate her dreams. He doesn't support her in her endeavors. When she's like, I love my job, he's just kind of like, oh, quit, like I'll take care of you, right?
Yeah,
Or why do you need to do that? So it's
yeah,
like he doesn't nourish her
yeah.
aspirations.
So here's the interesting like parallel that I see with Lacey. He says that he loves, but we don't see it.
Yeah,
But then with Sylvie and with Robert, did you notice they never actually say I love you in the whole film?
yeah,
So they
that,
never say it, but they do show it.
yeah.
So I thought that was cool. I really appreciated that. I thought that was a
That's
different
interesting. I didn't actually notice that.
yeah, they never say I love you in the whole thing, but with their actions, they're showing it over and over and over. I think they're showing it. But with Lacey, it's like we're just supposed to take his word for it, and we just never got to see it.
But it's hard. It's hard to because one line that really gets me, and I get it, it's the times or whatever, and I'm a progressive woman, right? But it's I can't say it verbatim because I forgot it and I didn't write it down. But it was when he had to do the dinner for his coworkers, right? And he was kind of like, you can work as long as it doesn't affect
Your
what you need to be
responsibilities
doing
at
at
home.
home.
Yeah.
And that to me, I just don't see it as love. So I'm like, is it in his mind he thinks that I love this woman, I respect this woman, I'm so like enamored with her, but he says these things that make me think otherwise.
Well, here's the thing. Depending on what movie you're watching, each of them have a different working definition of what love is and what love looks like. And that's true in real life too. We all kind of define love in our own way. And as you go from decade to decade, that definition changes too. So I'm pretty sure for a 1960s black man, the fact that he even said you could work, he might be thinking that's progressive.
True. True.
The fact that he even said, listen, yeah, do that. Do both. He might be thinking that's love then because maybe a lot of guys in his time would be like, heck no, you can't work. See?
Yeah.
So we are looking at it from a 2020 perspective.
Mhm.
And I mean, again, like, but the point is, we didn't see that love. We didn't see him look at her adoringly. Like, I feel like
Another
the
thing.
closest we get is how quickly he forgives her for going out to see him.
Oh, yeah. That shocked me a little bit, actually. I
That
didn't
shocked me
expect
too
him.
much.
Huh?
That was too much. I didn't get it. She laid there and then it was over. I'm like, okay, what's gonna happen here? My girl just gets away with everything she wants, okay? This movie is all about Sylvie getting everything she wants when she wants it, how she wants it.
Mm-hmm. I think she gets that from her mother. If you notice, like the few lines her mother has in the movie, I think she definitely shares her mother's temperament in that
Wow.
sense.
I felt like there needed to be more she needed to go through a little bit more. She needed to reap the consequences of these actions that she made. I just want to real quick cuz you brought this up and I just when you said it dawned on me. You talked about the dad being a fixer. I got to go back there real quick. And you said that that's his thing is making things work.
Yeah.
And I realized that those TVs can be a metaphor for her and Robert.
Mm.
because one's just sound and the other's the picture, right? So she's this TV producer, he's this musician, and he makes them work.
Okay, Kelly.
So I thought
Girl,
that
I
was
didn't
pretty
peep
cool.
that.
Well, I didn't peep the fixer thing, so you gave me a piece, I gave you a piece
uh, hey,
together.
back and forth.
All right, so I
We
guess
make
we
a
could
good
talk about the
team.
things that worked for us, unless there's anything else you wanted to say about stuff that you didn't like.
So with Mona, as looking from Mona as like a friend, okay, family member, cousin, but like just thinking of her as a friend.
Yeah.
If my friend had a fiance or whatever, instead of being like, "Oh my goodness, you and Robert were together," I would have been like, "Girl, now you know you in some mess. You better figure it out." Like I just wouldn't be that friend or that family member to condone that. Like I wouldn't praise it. You know what I mean? I would
Yeah.
just tell her straight up, like, girl, you tripping bad. Like you need to
Yeah.
end this over here and then move on. But throughout the film, Mona is this constant of like almost bad influence, you know?
You know, now that you say it, their relationship probably could have been a little bit more interesting if she pushed back on some of the things that Sylvie did.
But
Um,
no one did, as we've discussed, right?
Nobody. I mean, even when she talks about cheating on her husband with Mona, Mona's all like, "Oh, girl," she's like, "Oh," you know what I'm saying? And
Hard
there's
eyes.
yeah, and there's no, okay, well, are you gonna end things with Lacey? Because girl, you know, I mean, I'm happy for you and everything. I know Robert's your true love, but are you gonna fix this? Like,
Uh-huh.
like you can't just keep doing this. There isn't any of that. It's just, yes, Sylvie.
All your poor decisions. Yeah, you go, girl.
Oh my gosh. Like, but I'm kind of split on stuff like that because I agree that that voice could have been there. But I also realize that with dramas, if the characters always do the right thing, it turns out to be a boring movie. That's what I think.
Yeah, that's
It's a
true.
little it's a little boring. I mean, yes, it's still amazing to see two people fall in love, but can we just agree that things are a little bit more interesting when it's forbidden love?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's
When
why,
you're not supposed to be with him.
right. That's why I think like the play by Shakespeare, Romeo and Juliet. That's why those things stand the test of time because forbidden love is like it's the most entertaining love. So I totally get that. But I'm like, at least once she could have brought some insight, you know, some
Yes.
different perspective.
Yes.
Because I mean, it's not always entertaining to just do, what you call it, to do bad things the whole entire way through as well. Like there was just no pushback. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I guess we could talk about stuff we liked.
Okay.
Okay. One of the things, since we're talking about Mona, I love the fact that it's a movie starring two black people in the 50s and 60s and
Mm,
they're not miserable.
yeah.
Like racism does not come into play.
Mm-hmm.
We're not seeing some random moment with, like they're walking down the street and there's this white guy and blah blah blah. I love the fact that they allow this love story to exist un encumbered by all of that.
Yeah.
So I actually appreciate that, because of the era of when the movie was set. It's very easy to include those pieces, but man, black people stay going through stuff. So I just like the fact that they were happy,
Yeah.
you
Even
know.
though those times were high times for the civil rights movement, right? So I
And
mean, it
so, but
touches on it a little bit because that's what Mona does, but it's
and
not the main focus.
and that's what was so beautiful and elegant about the film is that anytime black people are in anything, you can't ignore the race element. So I love the fact that they didn't ignore it altogether. They're like, yo, you still out here fighting,
Yeah.
voter rights. And I thought it was kind of a little bit of a subliminal because she went to go register for voters in Atlanta, Georgia. Hello. So I felt like that was kind of on purpose.
Mhm.
And that was well done, but it wasn't the focus. And I really appreciate that they didn't make that the focus because Black people are so much more than, you know, people who are discriminated against and constantly thinking about
Oppression.
racism and stuff. Like we fall in love too.
Yeah.
That's what I love. Like we
It's
experience love too. It's not just rich white people or middle class white people or even poor white people. You know, you'll see all that before you see black people falling in love. So this was really cool to see.
I think for me, even though a lot of his big moments kind of fell flat, I think Robert's relentless pursuit in the beginning was kind of like I guess a cute point for me in the film. It's like he, but at the same time, it's kind of hard to say that because he just didn't care that she was engaged. He just didn't care. And that it's like, what does he say to her? He says, why do you
To
keep talking about being engaged? That's the least interesting thing about you.
be honest with you, I like spicy Robert. That was Robert at his best for me, pushing back a little bit and being
Yeah.
like, "Girl, listen, you said you didn't want me right. Well, bye then." You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? Like that was like, oh,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah,
It's a touchy one,
okay.
definitely.
Well, first of all, you know, you got to pull in the Notebook references. Noah didn't care either.
No, he did not care.
So what we
That
saying?
man said it still isn't over.
That's it. I don't care if you engaged. I don't care if you married. I just know what we got right here. It ain't done. So let's see other things that I liked. Okay, I feel like the first half of the movie shines.
Mhm.
Watching them fall in love, you know, that summer in 1957, that was dope. Yes, of course she's engaged and it shouldn't be happening, but we love to see it happen anyway. Their first kind of date, not date. For me, those are the best two romantic moments in the movie, where they walk each other home from that first date. You know,
Mhm.
they have that kind of kiss that shouldn't happen, and she's like, okay, I'm just gonna give you a peck, and you know, like that whole stuff was that. That's the stuff you kind of swoon over. You know what I'm saying? Like my dog watching her walk away, and he's like, "Is this it?"
Mhm.
You know, and he's like, "Well, you know, when a guy asks a girl out on a date, you." I'm like, "Go ahead, Robert, shoot your shot." And the thing is, she leaves the door open.
Yeah.
You know, because she could have shut it down. She could have been like, "Well, this wasn't a date."
Yeah.
And he would have respected that, which I also think is a kudos to the Robert character. Yes, he is trying to pursue a woman who's engaged, but he also does respect her boundaries a lot.
Yeah.
Like if like the moment she was like, "Yo, this was last night was a mistake," whatever, he didn't push back at all.
Mm-mm.
Like,
Which is right in his
say
field.
less. Right, exactly. And then but the moment she leaves the door open, it was like, "Well, you did ask me and I did come, so I guess it's a date." My gosh, shot up the stairs.
He didn't waste
So
no time.
that kiss was really nice. And the first fight, official fight that they have about Connie and all that stuff, and then they dance in the street, you know, that iconic
Yeah.
dancing in the street thing, that
That.
was good.
Mm-hmm.
That was really, really good. It gave me Notebook vibes, and it was just like, oh, you know, the little montage when they're at the picnic and they're doing the tandem bike. I'm like, yes, I
Uh-huh.
love to see these images with Black people.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was really well done.
I think something that was sweet for me that I really liked was when he catches her singing and dancing in the record store, and she's singing the song "See You Later." I don't remember the name of the song, but "See You Later, Alligator," right? And then
Yeah,
that becomes like a thing between them. I really, really enjoyed. Like, I like that he says that to her afterwards. Like, that's just a thing between
yeah.
them, like a moment shared.
He's a really good listener as well.
Mm,
I thought that was pretty, like that's pretty good. And I mean, it makes sense. He's a musician, but he listens to her when she's talking.
yeah.
You know, he's paying attention. Let me just talk about some technical stuff like the cinematography. I think it's just a beautiful movie. It's
Mm.
like beautiful to see, you know, the way they shot it, the clothes. Oh, the
Yeah,
fashion
and
was
that's
just.
That's your time period right
Oh my
there.
gosh, the fashion was just on point. They look so good. Robert looks amazing in his outfits. Like I thought that was really cool.
Mhm.
Um
The music, Robert's music, that would do something to your soul. Like I
yeah,
wish when the first time he invites her to come and listen to him, I felt like I was in the room. Like I just was like, oh my God.
yeah. Did you hear that he actually learned how to play sax for this role?
Really? No, I didn't.
Yep. I don't know how much he was actually doing in the film,
Yeah.
but he did learn how to play it so that he could be as authentic as possible. I thought that was pretty cool.
Wow. So he took this really serious.
So I guess if the lack of drama is what I hate the most, what I
Mhm.
love the most is that I think that their definition of what love is hits it on the head,
Mm.
which is that okay, so you know how I said they never say I love you? They
Right.
never say the words, but they use their definition, right? Because when they were on the roof and she asked him, well, how do you know you're in love or something like that? Like, how do you know it's real or it's the right one or it's love? And then he says, well, you know, because nothing else matters,
Mm.
or it's the only thing that matters. Something like that is what he says. So that becomes the definition of what love is in the movie.
Right.
So when he comes and invites her to Paris, which super cool, playing outside her window and all that. Very
That
cute.
okay, that is a moment that I also liked. I like wrote down a list, but like I was trying to yeah, that's one moment because like sorry, before you continue there, that moment was so different. Like, you know what I mean? Like normally it's a rock. Well, I had never seen it. Normally it's a rock. There's I think a movie with like a
A
boom.
boombox. Yeah.
So it was just different. I like that. Sorry, go
Yeah,
ahead.
it was. It was. And I thought that was super cute. Like I said, that first half of the movie, man, that's where it's at. So, when he asks her to go to Paris with him, and she's like, "Well, what if it doesn't work out?" And she goes, "It will work out." And she goes, "Well, how do you know that?" And then she said, "Because all that matters is us."
Hmm.
What he's saying there is because I love you. That's
Yeah.
what he's saying. Because if you think back to what they said on the roof, you know it's the one when nothing else matters. So and to be honest, that's part of why Robert would, to me, should be super super upset about having that child kept from him, because nothing else matters.
Mm.
Like when I was talking to Jess yesterday, she was like, that was not your choice to make, and I'm like, yo, that would have been a really great line. That would have been an amazing line. Like, how dare you take away my choice to
Yeah.
choose you? So what if I choose you over my career? So
Yeah.
what? Like, then
Because
nothing
nothing
else
else.
nothing else matters.
And you know what's crazy? It's poetic because at the end, when she's like, you're not in music anymore, you're not doing the most, and she shows up for him, it's because
Yes,
it doesn't matter.
yes, that's right. And so for me, the highlight and the best part of this movie is that they're showing you that love means sacrifice.
Mm.
And even though they both make really questionable decisions,
Yeah.
it
From
comes
the
from
early
this place.
onset.
uh
From the early onset.
I know, right? But it comes from this place of I love you and I'm willing to sacrifice some of my own happiness for you.
Mm.
I'm willing to give up things for you.
Yeah.
They show that in so many different ways, and that's not something I see often
Mm.
with love stories. It's usually love is this emotional thing. It's this passion, it's this attraction, and I can't get enough of you. But for them, it's a deeper love than that. Yeah, I'm attracted to you. Yes, I like you, but I'm willing to give something up for you.
Mm.
And to me, that gets into the biblical, that gets into the agape, that gets into the lay yourself down for your friend, no greater love. That's what that is showing me, is that they're willing to lay themselves down, you
Mm.
know, for the other person. Robert is willing to give up the life he's always wanted with her if it means she can pursue her dreams and be the best version of herself. And I think that's amazing.
And that's something that what's his name again? Her husband. That's
Like,
something that he just wasn't that wasn't his definition of love.
yeah. I
Mm-hmm.
really don't know what his definition was.
No. But it definitely wasn't that because he's like, girl, I got you. I'm
Okay,
gonna pay for everything.
but can we give him some props? He did decide to raise someone else's baby.
Oh, that's
We got to give him some props from that for that. Okay?
honestly.
Okay, we got black men out here running out on their own and he's taking one that's not his.
And
We
this
need to give
happened
him.
because she cheated on him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, where did they do that at? Where do
It's
you
true.
see
It's
that?
true. So we do have to give Homeboy some props
Yeah.
there. Yeah. So yeah, that to me is what I love the most about this film is that it shows what true love, especially from a biblical standpoint, what it means and what it looks like. And that means self-sacrifice. It means being willing to put somebody before yourself. And they do that, and guess what? They still end up together because hey, that's what true love does too. It brings you, it's gonna bring you back together anyway.
Mm,
So yeah, I think that was really beautifully done.
yeah. I think
Mhm.
all in all, it's definitely one for the books, one that you can watch over and over again. Like
Yeah, I mean,
or Titanic for sure.
absolutely. And the one love scene, the one sex scene that they have, hot, so good, so good. Listen to, let me just talk about this real quick.
Okay.
I love, one of the reasons why I think having black love stories is super important is because the black body, America has a very unique relationship to it.
Hmm.
It's been a commodity, it's been, property, over sexualized, and all that stuff. So, what I love about romance
Hmm.
starring black folks is that it allows you to see them as full people, but
Hmm.
also for you to see them as people that are desired and desirable.
Right.
Like it shows you that they are beautiful. I mean, I feel like that's why there's been so a huge lack of black people in romance is because our Western definitions of beauty usually tend to be fair, white, blah blah
Yeah.
blah. So we don't see black people as someone,
Romantics.
yes, as people that like he would walk into a room and he'd be like, oh, right?
Yeah.
Or she walks into her room with her hair coils or whatever, and you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But that's what happens when you make them the leading girl and guy. It's
Yeah.
that they do walk into a room and there's the sweeping music and and then there's shots of their hands and
Girl.
I think that is so
That
important.
one scene when she sees Robert for the first time in the 5 years, right? And she sees him by outside of the what's it
Theater.
called? Theater, yeah. And they go inside and they're watching and I was just like this is such a simple scene like the camera watches him watch her like he looks down and he just looks at her hands and I'm like, this is like one of the most sensual scenes I've seen in a while. And it's just this woman's hands. It's so simple.
You took what I was gonna say away. For
Oh,
me, with hands, it was the scene where they go out on a date to the Asian restaurant
sorry.
and he asks her to dance and he just holds out his hand and the camera just zooms in on it. And I'm like, look at that black hand. That no, honestly,
I'm weak, Calissa. You said, look at that black hand.
yes, look at it. Look at it. Look at how it's just holding out, waiting for her to reach and just grab it. And I'm just trying to say that when you take us out of the spaces we're always put in as either being a criminal or being this or those stereotypical roles that we play, when you allow us to play full characters, you get to do things like that where you zoom into full lips and
Mm,
you zoom into black hands and you see these two bodies just rolling around and it's just awesome. Like I love black people, I love black men,
mhm.
okay? And I love my black man. So when I see that on the screen, it's like I'm seeing him
Yeah.
and I'm seeing the beauty that I see on a daily basis, but I feel like a lot of people don't appreciate in our wider, American context. So anytime black men especially are able to be shown as sensitive or as not like, the stereotype was just they're just all about sex or whatever,
Mhm.
but that they're actually about love.
Yeah.
I there needs to be so much more of that. Like people need to know that black men are capable of deep, passionate, romantic, faithful love.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
there you go.
Like, where do we go from here? That was beautiful. I think I would love to see more films starring, two black people in love. It doesn't matter the period. I just would love to see more of it. And like you were just saying, without those other things, like without the drug dealing and like the whatever it is they think black love is. I would love to see that, see a more positive light on black love for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I'm gonna, I don't want to make it sound like other filmmakers haven't tried or don't
Mhm.
show love stories. They do, but they're always, those love stories tend to be drowned out by the other stuff. Like you think of a Tyler Perry, for instance, he often has people in love, but the love story sometimes gets lost in all of the extra drama,
Yeah,
all
I
that
agree.
extra stuff going on, and
Yeah.
you just can't, enjoy two people falling in love. And
Hmm.
so I feel like that's like we need more of that. This movie wasn't perfect. I feel like there are some places where they dropped the ball,
Yeah.
but man, can we just keep the ball rolling?
We need to see more. And we
Like,
need
can
to
we at
see,
least get one of these every year? Is that too much to ask?
right. And I want to see more of, I'm going to butcher his name.
Namandi?
Namandi. I want to see more of him in film.
Well, he's in this other movie called Crown Heights.
Oh, okay. I
So I'm
haven't
gonna
heard of
check
that
that
one.
out. I don't know. It's not a love story, but I do want to see more of him too. So,
Yeah.
let me tell you real quick. What usually happens to me, I'll watch like a rom-com or like a romantic movie and just be crushing on the lead actor for like 2 weeks.
Same. And then once you're on that crush, like you're just watching all of their films, their interviews, pictures
Yes,
on Google. Like,
yes, exactly, exactly. So when I was watching To All the Boys I Loved Before, I was crushing on Noah Centineo for like 2 months. Like I watched all his movies on Netflix. Like
same. I mean, ain't no shame. Ain't no shame.
homeboy needs to like strike while the iron is hot. Go ahead and make another movie real quick while people still want to see more and more of you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean his quiet, portrayal of Robert, it was definitely different. I don't think I've ever seen a Robert character.
Neither.
Like a black guy that's that chill, that cool, that, you know,
They
yeah,
didn't
that low
play
key.
into did you notice they didn't play into the stereotypical stereotypical stereotypes or whatever of
Mhm.
black people? Like, Robert was not an angry person. Um what's her name? Sylvie wasn't like loud and obnoxious or anything like that. I think,
Yeah. Neither was her dark skinned cousin.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Shout out to second episode of Her Book of Job. Cousin Happy.
Yeah.
Shameless plug.
But yeah, I think that was refreshing, to be honest. It was super,
Yeah.
super
Well,
refreshing.
see, but here's the issue. Sometimes as Black people, we try so hard not to be the stereotype that we're also not allowing ourselves to be human.
Yeah.
So we need to make sure not to swing the pendulum too far to the other side. Yeah, he wasn't the angry Black man, but he is allowed to be an angry Black
Oh
man.
yeah.
And I
Mm-hmm.
felt like he didn't get angry because they didn't want to make him the angry Black man.
So
You
there
know,
should be a medium.
for sure. Like, yo, you have a right to be angry here. Forget the stereotypes. You mad.
Get mad.
Yes. And let me see that. And let me see, let me just see that. Cause it's hot.
I wonder if a little bit of it was just him as a person. I would have to see him in other things to see what he's like. because I'm wondering if he's just naturally a calm person, so he was like playing himself in a way.
If you check out the interviews, he's definitely soft spoken and whatever. So it wasn't a stretch for him to be that cool, calm, collected guy.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
So now we want to see him in a film where he gets mad.
Yes, because for whatever reason, that is kind of sexy. You know, when you kind of standing up for yourself. Listen, when Noah is like standing there and putting all that pressure on Allie, it's hot. It's like, damn it, girl, you're doing it again. Just tell me. I'm like, yes, tell that man. So
Oh,
yeah. You know what? I'm just gonna pause right here just to say it's not just more Black love stories that I want to see. I just want to see more diversity in general because I actually enjoy, like, for instance, Always Be My Maybe. That's the first rom-com with an Asian couple.
that
And I'm
was
like,
good.
why did I have to wait this long to get this?
Yeah.
You know, and I love that. That was really cool. I love to see Indian movies as well. You know, like we just need to see more color on the screen, falling in love in those classic ways that we like to see people fall in love.
Yeah,
You know, that shouldn't just be reserved for one group.
I agree. I agree. I enjoyed Always Be My Maybe. Sure.
Well, that's our reaction video to Sylvie's Love. Go check it out. Let us know if you agree or disagree with our our pros and cons about the
Let us
movie.
know in the comments down below.
For sure. And make sure, if you haven't already, you need to go and listen to our podcast, Her Book of Job.
Yes. You know, I was gonna say, I did this awkward thing where I was gonna be like, peace, and then you guys talk. You kept talking, and I'm like, oh, okay. So now, bye, guys.